If you guys didn't already know, the Mac Mini is actually the most powerful currently available M1 Mac. The reason for this is it has the exact same specs as the MacBook Pro, except it actually has a slightly bigger fan and there's a little bit more area for heat dissipation. So theoretically, we should see a little bit better performance from this machine. And in today's video, we're going to be gaming on my brand new Dell 4K monitor, and we're going to see how the Mac Mini performs. Now guys, my assistant is making fun of me. She's calling me a stupid Mac fanboy and says, why don't you just game on your PC like every other person? So I'm gonna prove her wrong today, just you watch. Now, if you've seen the other videos on my channel, you would see that I've done quite a bit of gaming on my base model MacBook Air, and I was able to get decent playable frame rates on 2K resolution, but mostly playing at 1080 was where I was able to get some really playable games. Now, if you've seen on my channel, I've done a lot of gaming on the base model MacBook Air, the M1 version, and that works great, even at 1440p for some games, but it does struggle when you get to the AAA titles like Tomb Raider. So in this video, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how the Mac Mini, which again is very, very cheap, it's about $700, stacks up with some 4K gaming. Okay guys, so the first game we're going to start with once again is Fortnite. Now I played this on my MacBook Air and it worked perfectly fine without any issues. We were actually able to get around 90 to 100 FPS playing at around 1080p. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Mac Mini performs, not only on its own, but also on 4K. Now, if you guys are interested in this 4K monitor from Dell, I'll have it linked in the description. It's an awesome, awesome monitor, guys. I've had it for probably just about 4 or 5 hours. I've literally just set it up, but it's absolutely incredible. The 4K resolution is great. The colors are super accurate, and I'm just very, very happy with it. So I'll probably do a review or some kind of deep dive into this monitor in the near future. So stay tuned on the channel. All right, so let's go back into Battle Royale. So I'll show you guys the settings I have first of all. So if we come in here, I've got it set to full screen. You can see there it's in full 4K resolution, 16:9 aspect ratio, unlimited frame limit, and we have the quality presets to low, 3D resolution to 100%, so that's full 4K resolution, and then everything else is set to low, just so we can try to max out the FPS, and I've also got the in-game FPS marker set to on as well. So let's come back out of here and let's just try to find a solo game. Okay guys, so we are in the battle bus now and we're getting a very solid 30 frames per second. Now that's pretty cool because generally at the start of these games, when you're in the battle bus, there's a lot of players, there's a lot of stuff to render and for the game to load. So you're gonna get some low FPS. So let's drop down now and let's try to go somewhere quiet, because if I go somewhere busy, I'm just going to get wrecked straight away. So I'll see you guys down on the ground. Okay guys, we're on the ground now, so the FPS has stabilized a little bit. Now you may not be able to see up in the top right hand corner of the FPS. I'll try to zoom in now so you can have a brief look, but we are getting about 35 FPS. Now bear in mind guys, this is at full 4K, and if we get some motion in here, you can see there's really no issues at all. Like the frames aren't really dropping. I can jump around, destroy stuff, absolutely no issues. Let's destroy this house. You can see there's a little bit of distortion, so there are there's some screen glitching and some shape glitching as well. I think that's just because this is obviously a completely unoptimized version of the M1 chip. So this is running off the Rosetta emulation, guys, so just bear that in mind. But we are having absolutely no issues here. If we come out here and we try to build, absolutely no issues at all. We can shoot, and we're actually getting about 40 FPS now. So this is very, very playable, especially considering especially on consoles, 30 to 40 FPS is all you're going to get. So if you guys are okay with playing at 30, 40 FPS, this is actually totally playable. And again, it's completely at 4K resolution. So what we'll do now is we'll change the resolution and we'll just bump it down a little bit to say 1440p. So 2560 by 1440. Let's apply that. And now we're going to play. And you can see now, wow, we are immediately getting about 70 FPS. So there's absolutely no issues there. I can move around quickly. There's no screen tearing, no dropped frames. We're getting a very, very solid 60 to 70 FPS. So there's absolutely no issues here at all. Again, you can see some artifacting here and there. That's probably just because of the Rosetta emulation, guys. So that's probably going to go away once that gets sorted out by the Fortnite developers. Okay guys, next up we have Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Now this is probably one of the most intensive games you can play on the Mac right now. As I said before, there's not a whole lot of games that are optimized for the Mac at this point, like the M1 version. And as you saw on my last video on the MacBook Air, this game only just ran at 1440p. So it definitely was struggling. So let's see how the Mac Mini performs. Okay guys, so let's go into the options and then we're gonna go into display and graphics. So you'll be able to see here, again, it's at 4K. I'm also gonna turn VSync on and I'm gonna leave anti-aliasing off. So we'll save that. And then I'm gonna come to the graphics. Everything is set to as low as possible here. Because obviously, you know, if we can just play this thing at all at 4K, that's all we want to see. So let's save that and we're going to continue on with the game. Okay guys, we're into Tomb Raider now. Now unfortunately it's a little bit dark, so I'll try to make it as bright as I can. But as you guys can see, we're getting a solid 15 FPS. And guys, just right now, from what I'm seeing here, this looks absolutely incredible. Like, even though all of the details are set to low, you can definitely tell this is in 4K. Now obviously 13 FPS, that's really not playable. So let's see if we can actually just drop it down a little bit and see if we can get it up to about 30, maybe 25 FPS. Let's change this to 1440p. We'll leave everything else the same. So this is now technically half the resolution, so it's no longer 4K. And we just want to see what we can get. Because obviously, guys, 4K on this game, you're not going to be playing it. I just thought I'd show you what it looks like. But hopefully 1440p, it's going to be more playable. Okay, guys, as you can see here, we are now getting a very, very solid 30 FPS. So it does dip down slightly to about 27 every now and then. But this is actually very, very playable. And again, it looks absolutely great. Not quite 4K, but again, like I don't think we're going to be able to play this game on 4K. But the fact that it was playing at 4K at 15 to 16 FPS is already very impressive. But now this is obviously 1440p, and we are actually getting a playable frame rate. So that's very, very impressive. Okay, guys, so now we have Dying Light playing in native 4K. Now, Dying Light is a relatively older game. It's about 4 years old, but if you guys have played it before, it can actually be quite intensive on your graphics card because there's quite a lot of things going on. There's quite a lot of detail in the maps. So as you guys can see here, we're getting about 20 FPS at 4K with all settings set to low. Now, this isn't quite playable. Another 10 to 15 FPS, and it definitely would be. If you can get up to about 30, 35 FPS, it's definitely playable, especially because this is just a single player game. So there's going to be absolutely no issues playing that if you can squeeze out a little bit more. Unfortunately though, again, this is just running off Rosetta 2, so you're going to lose at least 20 to 30% performance. So once these games start becoming optimized for the M1, we might actually see this become 100% playable. We may even be able to get like 40 to 50 FPS playing at 4K. Now, if we go back to the menu and we come to the options, we're going to cut down the resolution to 1440p or 2K. So we're essentially reducing the resolution by 50%. And this will, again, just give us a little bit more of a benchmark as to how the 4K is performing. So let's save this, and then we're going to reload that game. Okay, so this is at 1440p, and we are getting a pretty consistent 38 to 40 FPS, and this is playable. I'm not really getting any kind of dropped frames. We're now up to about 45 FPS. So there's really no issues. And again, guys, this is just a single player game. And for me personally, for single player games, I can play them at 30 to 40 FPS, no issue. If this was a multiplayer game, like like a Twitch shooter game or like a Call of Duty or something like that, you obviously wouldn't want to play it at 30 FPS. But because this is obviously just a really chill single player game, you don't really need the high FPS. So this is very, very impressive. Again, just a $700 Mac Mini, no upgrades, nothing like that, just running off completely unoptimized software on Rosetta 2. Now guys, what we'll also do now is we'll do a thermal test on the Mac Mini, just a quick one. Now this has been gaming for about an hour now all up, and you can see on the exterior it is barely warm. You can see right where the processor is, which is the hottest part. We're barely getting 30 degrees Celsius, and if I actually touch this, it doesn't even feel warm. So guys, honestly, I don't actually think you're gonna suffer from much thermal throttling at all on this particular system, because the games you're going to run, they're not super intensive on the Mac Mini. And as I said before, the Mac Mini does have a slightly bigger fan and better thermals than the MacBook Pro. Obvious reasons, guys. I mean, look at the size of this compared to the Mac Pro. It's much thicker. So I actually think this will be a great little machine for gaming on the Mac. So there we have it, guys. That was 4K gaming on the base model Mac Mini. Now I know, guys, this video isn't supposed to prove that, you can game on a Mac Mini. Should you buy a Mac Mini for gaming? Of course not. Buy a Windows PC. But if you just want to do some light casual gaming every now and then, so some Fortnite or maybe some Dying Light or some Sims, it's going to work perfectly fine. And if you do play a really well optimized game such as Fortnite or CSGO, when CSGO is updated, it's actually going to be a great little machine because you'll be able to play it at decent FPS at 4K. And if you guys aren't keen to play at 4K, which is like 95% of people, if you just want to play at 1080p, you're going to get very, very good frame rates on pretty much any game you can play. I'll be doing a 1080p gaming test very soon. But for now, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. And if there are any questions or anything, you guys know what to do. Comment below. Apart from that, I'll catch you in the next one.